All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. My name is Hannah Crapone. I'm the Content Marketing Manager here at Certiport. We're so happy to have you join us for our first IC3 Academy webinar today. This presentation is being recorded, so all registrants will receive a link to the full recording via email after our presentation. We've set aside some time at the end of our slides to go over Q&A, so feel free to drop any questions into the chat or the Q&A feature as those come up, and we'll make sure to address those. Today, our topic is Digital Literacy 101 and IC3 Introduction, and we'll be learning from our very own digital literacy expert, Sabrina Beck. Sabrina is the product manager for IC3 Digital Literacy certification here at Certiport. She has over 15 years of experience across strategic planning, product development, global operations, and go-to-market execution. Originally a music ed major, she graduated with a BS in business marketing and earned her MBA from Brigham Young University. A mom to 3 children and 3 tail-wagging boys, Sabrina has devoted her career to understanding what people need and building products that help them improve their circumstances and succeed in reaching their goals. She's pleased with the work that the IC3 team has done to be part of the solution improving digital literacy skills worldwide. We're so privileged to have Sabrina here with us today. So without further ado, Sabrina, I'll go ahead and pass it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah, for that fantastic introduction. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quick. And all right, can you see everything all right?
Looks great.
Awesome. Okay. So as Hannah mentioned, my name is Sabrina Beck. I am the product manager for the IC3 Digital Literacy program here at Certiport. I am really excited to talk to you today about digital literacy and to give you an overview of our most recent standard, Global Standard 6. First off, just to give you a good highlight, a good overview of digital literacy, the state of digital literacy and with a global perspective. Young people today have always had access to mobile devices. They've always lived in a world where the internet is a virtual extension of their society, of their communities. They don't know a world without technology. The term, if you've heard it before, digital native, describes an individual who was born into and has grown up in a digital world. It is easy to assume that because they have grown up with digital devices, they've known how to unlock their phone to access their favorite apps since a very young age, that they also know how to safely navigate through a digital world. This is a myth. If anything that we've learned over the past few years is how much people do not know about technology and the digital environment. In fact, all areas of our lives have been disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. We have seen fundamental challenges and subsequent shifts across business, across education, healthcare, and commerce. Much of the challenges that we face as a society have accelerated the pace of digitization, applying pressure to learners, to workers, and employers to keep up. As a result, the digital skills gap that many groups are tackling head-on is widening at an accelerated pace. Many employers in countries and regions around the globe report a shortage of qualified workers. Although employers have many job openings, they struggle to find skilled, qualified applicants to fill those positions. This is a result of society believing the myth of the digital native is true. Teaching digital literacy skills at every stage of individual learning will help address the challenges we see as a result. Also, using certification to validate digital skills will help close the digital skills gap that we see today. Third-party validation of skills is far more powerful than self-promotion of knowledge. That validation is best achieved through certification. IC3 has enabled millions of candidates to stand out in a traditionally crowded job market by showing they have the digital literacy skills hiring managers are looking for. We continue to work with many organizations across the globe to ensure that IC3 not only aligns with their frameworks, but also makes their frameworks operational, quantifiable, and easy to assess. Those who are familiar with the IC3 program know it was originally designed with 3 specialized exams resulting in 1 certification. Although this framework has stood as a foundation for IC3 for many years, we wanted to ensure that IC3 continues to meet the individual needs of learners. Through our efforts, we created a new program model that engages learners at 3 different points in their digital literacy development. Global Standard 6 is designed to support learning by certifying these 7 key competency areas at 3 separate levels. Cloud computing concepts are incorporated throughout the standard, especially in the content creation and collaboration competencies. Mobile computing is at the center of our digital environment, where digital citizenship and communication skills are vital. Personal online safety and device security are areas of significant concern for parents, educators, and employers. I want to emphasize that Global Standard 6 is what we call product agnostic. All competencies assessed in the standard are universal and can be applied across various platforms. For example, word processing skills that are covered in all 3 levels of IC3 Global Standard 6 are used in Microsoft Word, Google Docs, and Apple Pages. Because each level in Global Standard 6 covers all key competency areas, each level stands as its own certification. The comprehension-based program model means that the certifications are stackable and makes implementation of Global Standard 6 customizable based on your learners' needs. We like to look at it this way. Level 1 certifies candidates know foundational concepts related to the 7 key competency areas. Level 2 certifies candidates' ability to do tasks that demonstrate their skills in working productively in an online environment. Level 3 certifies candidates' ability to lead by demonstrating skills related to managing systems and processes, solving problems, and providing guidance to others. Also, when a candidate successfully passes all 3 certification exams, they will earn a master's certification for digital literacy. These changes in the IC3 framework with Global Standard 6 makes implementation much more versatile than ever before. Schools can choose to implement the program in middle school, spreading the exams over several grade levels, or they can choose to integrate digital literacy certification between middle school and high school. The certification and learning materials are also designed in such a way that 2 levels can be taught in 1 course, helping students to have a solid digital skills foundation as they pursue additional certifications within other Certiport programs and available pathways. Global Standard 6 has been well received by industry experts and educators worldwide. In its first year, it was delivered in over 36 countries. Also, we have worked with members of the Global Digital Literacy Council and with our partners to localize the standard into 16 languages, including Vietnamese, Malaysian, Indonesian. We're getting ready to do Italian. We wanted to make sure that Global Standard 6 is more accessible and to more people in their preferred language. To highlight some of the groups that have implemented IC3 Global Standard 6, I wanted to highlight the Florida Department of Education. The state of Florida has one of the largest departments of education in the United States. They have invested heavily in integrating digital skills programs and certifications throughout their curriculum. In fact, the Florida Digital Tools and CAPE Industry Certification Statute identifies industry recognized certifications that leads to jobs. 75% of Florida students earn at least 1 industry recognized certification while in middle school and high school. And schools also receive federal funding when students successfully earn their certifications. Florida recognizes that the value of certification is more than just adding a bullet point on a resume. Those who earn at least one certification have higher grades, are more likely to graduate, are more likely to enroll in post-secondary school, and graduates also have a higher employment rate and earn higher wages than students who do not earn at least one certification. Florida has focused on starting their students on the pathway to digital jobs with IC3. They have awarded over 300,000 certifications to students since adding IC3 to the CAPE digital tools list. Florida was one of the first departments of education in the United States to adopt Global Standard 6. They have rolled out the new standard in select schools and plan to increase that number this coming school year. Teachers' response has been very positive. Not only do they love the customized approach that the new standard offers, they feel it gives their students a sense of purpose. And I do want to point out that levels 1, 2, and 3 are all included on the CAPE digital tools list. Certiport also offers full solution packages for Global Standard 6 to help ensure your students are fully equipped to master digital literacy. We have many options to help you bundle learning materials that you love and that you use in your classroom so that you can spend more time teaching and less time preparing your lesson plans. Of special note, the CCI Learning just launched a new interactive course specifically designed for GS6 under their Experience Ed program, which is formerly known as Jasper Active. Pearson also covers all 3 Global Standard 6 levels in a newly released textbook. These new courseware offerings are in addition to the LearnKey courseware and the Certiport practice tests that we already have available on our Gmetrics platform. If you would like to know more information about these new materials and available exam bundles, feel free to contact your Certiport representative. And before, I just wanted to take the chance really quick to thank you, not only for joining me, but for your dedication to teaching digital literacy. The work that you do in your communities and in your classrooms is critical, and it changes lives. It is definitely life-changing, and I look forward to our continued collaboration as we work together to close this digital skills gap and enable our communities to easily navigate through our digital world. And with that, I will turn it back over to Hannah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sabrina. We had a lot of people cross-referencing in the chat talking about where they're from, so we're really excited to see so many attendees coming from around the world. The first question that we had come through was, does IC3 cover all aspects of Google? I know you mentioned it being product agnostic, but we have a lot of Google schools, I believe.
Yes, so with being product agnostic, we've really focused on the skills that individuals need to navigate through the different programs and different applications that are used all over. And so there are a lot of skills. Not only I use word processing skills as an example, but we do cover skills in like spreadsheets and in presentations, and also online collaboration with those digital citizenship skills, understanding how to work cross-functionally with others and how to utilize different tools that are available to easily communicate, and proper etiquette as well.
Perfect. So another question that came through, are all of the topics covered on each of the exams, or does each exam focus on a different area of digital literacy?
Okay, that's a great question. So with our prior versions from Global Standard 4, Global Standard 5, we used to bucket the exams used to be bucketed into specific topic areas. So we had key applications, computing fundamentals, and living online. We found that that wasn't really meeting the needs of individual learners, but also because we have so much that has moved to the cloud and moved to online, the majority of the topics could really be put into that living online bucket. And that really wasn't very feasible. And so we took the competencies and we basically turned them on their side. So we and then resliced it. So all of the exams cover all 7 objective domain topics, the 7 competency areas, but they cover them at a foundational level, an intermediate level, and an advanced level.
Amazing. Okay, one more question that came through. Is the content localized for the different regions, or is it just the language that's localized for the certifications?
So we localize primarily for the language. So it is a global standard. So we cover topics that are relevant no matter what area of the world that you live in. But the exams are localized into different languages, and those are actually available on the list of available languages are available on our exam details page on our website.
Fantastic. We had another question come through. Can there be an addition for something for Chrome on IC3 in the future? So maybe a better addition to this would be as well, how often are these updated? And if teachers have suggestions for additional content, where do they go?
Yeah, so Darian, I do see your question, and I would like to get some clarification. I mean, you speak about Chrome. Chrome is a web browser, and there are multiple web browsers available. I mean, we have Microsoft Edge, there's Safari, there's Firefox, and each one of those have have general skills or requirements to be able to use those tools to navigate and find information. We do cover using a web browser in IC3. I think some of the examples that we use in the learning products, they use different ones. Like one example might be Microsoft Edge. We do use Google Chrome. So we do know that Google Classroom is a huge thing, and a lot of schools use Google and utilize that for their tools. And so we do cover specific and use that as an example within the learning products and practice tests. Is that I just want to get some clarification on your question. Is that okay? So your school has Chromebooks when can't download Compass Windows exam on Chromebooks. So for your specific situation, we do have an exams from home option that is available for Chromebooks. So you would be able to access the exams through a web browser, and they do work on Chrome.
So to that point, Sabrina, do we want to talk a little bit more about the delivery and the actual testing experience?
Yeah, sure. I'd be more than happy to. So we deliver all of our exams on Compass. It's the online delivery platform that we use. That can either be done in person at the local Certiport authorized testing center, which most schools who use our exams are a CATC, or you can also access those exams through exams from home, which allows you to deliver the exams within the same process, but through a virtual environment, through virtual machines. And so with that, the difference is, what desktop are you using to access the exam? Are you using a desktop that is in your classroom, in your computer lab at your school, or are you accessing a virtual desktop in that virtual environment? And so we did make sure, because we know that a lot of schools do use Chromebooks, especially with the one-on-one exams. Yeah, I'll get to that, the rest of your question in a second, Darian. But we found that a lot of schools were using Chromebooks, especially with the one-to-one initiatives that a lot of states are utilizing right now to make sure that students have a digital device that they can use to access curriculum and be able to complete assignments. So we want to make sure that it was working there. And so we made sure that the browser-based environment was something that was friendly for PC, for Mac, and for Chrome. And so Compass can be accessed on all those platforms through Exams from Home. And Exams from Home, regardless if you're delivering an exam in person or through a virtual environment, it does require a proctor. So if you are delivering them to your students, you would still proctor your students through Exam from Home and be able to access up to 10 machines at a time. Some teachers will do multiple sessions and can proctor up to 20. That way, we usually recommend doing 10 students at a time, but it's the same process as you would do it in person. So if you are a candidate looking to take an exam, you would have to go to a testing center to have a proctor the exam for you. Or we do have some testing centers that do utilize Exams from Home, and those are listed on our website.
Perfect. I think that's super helpful to give a little bit of clarification for those who aren't super familiar with our delivery system. We had some additional questions come through. One of them being, how long does it take to teach the content for the different certifications under GS6?
Okay, so I am going to put this caveat that it is dependent on the learner, and it's dependent on the requirements that you have at the level that you're teaching at. So we really focus on meeting the needs of the learner where they're at and understanding. And so this we've seen this implemented in middle schools as part of a CTE, like that overview CTE course that a lot of 6th and 7th graders are required to take, all the way up to workforce development, helping people reskill and upskill and just refresh their digital literacy skills to match jobs that they're trying to apply for. That said, if in an academic environment, the courses are intended to align with at least a semester course, and we do have that information listed on our website. So the course can be intended to cover a full year course. You can cover 2 levels in 1 year. For like higher ed or faster learners, they can do independent study, and just depending on how fast they catch on, they could finish the course pretty quickly. It just really depends on the learner.
So kind of as follow-up to that, we had someone drop into the chat. Is this something that you can offer as a self-paced course for an instructor or as an instructor?
Yeah, this is something that you could offer as a self-paced course. I mean, we try to, we worked with the learning curriculum with LearnKey and with CCI to create a curriculum that was self-paced and self-explanatory. There's videos, there's different exercises and activities that they can do within that, and then being able to assess where they're at and their understanding with the practice test is super helpful.
Perfect. So I think this question, I might need to have Trung offer some clarification, but
Yeah.
Someone uses Schoology to offer unique exams for students who have IEPs or specific accommodations. How does IC3 differ? What does that process look like to get those accommodations?
Okay, so my understand. Okay, so there's two things. We do offer accommodations during testing. It does need to, you do need to register. The candidate has to register and show that they do require accommodations. But once that is approved, it is marked in their candidate profile that they do require accommodations. And accommodations, we allow them to have double testing time, like more testing time to be able to complete the exam. So our standard exam time is 50 minutes, and it's between 40 to 50 questions depending on the level. Someone who requires accommodations will have double that time. So instead of 50 minutes, they have 100 minutes to complete the exam. We are also building some additional accommodations throughout all of our programs within Pearson. We're really addressing accommodations to make sure that people who need specific accommodations will have those. So
Can I clarify too, Sabrina, just from my perspective, does that apply for those who are testing through exams from home, or is that just through Compass?
It's also through exams from home. So exams from home is a virtual desktop, and you still access Compass through that desktop. So if a candidate has the accommodations exception on their profile, they will, regardless if it's exams from home or if they're testing in person in a testing center, they will have the additional accommodations. Now, as far as like the IEP and the 504 general plans and whatnot, I think that is very much an individualized plan that the teacher would work on with the student and with the plan. And so you would have to see how you can adapt the learning curriculum with their individual IEP or their 504 plan.
And to that point, I just wanted to call out that next week we will be having one of our learning partners, CCI Learning, that Sabrina mentioned earlier in the presentation, coming to discuss their curriculum options. So if you're looking to teach digital literacy in your classroom and are wondering the best place to get started, we have a few options for you. So I'll go ahead and drop the link to that session in the chat so people can register for that if they're interested. And then we have at the end of the month, one of our partners in Indonesia is going to be speaking to the way that they successfully brought this program into their school and advice that they would share with other institutions and educators. So we would love to have you for those sessions if you are able to join us. Those are all the questions that we have. I just wanted to see, Sabrina, if you had any final thoughts that you wanted to share.
So I think just based off of the questions and our conversations that we've had today, I really do want to put an emphasis on that IC3 is definitely a great place to start with learning digital skills and springboarding into other certification programs. We really wanted to focus on the individual learner and making sure that everyone has the opportunity to really bolster their digital literacy foundation, regardless of what life stage they're at, what grade level they're at, or their level of understanding and learning and specifics. And so we really focused on making sure that not only were the exams leveling, like changing the framework so that the exam structure made it easier to customize based off of your individual program, but we worked with our learning partners to make sure that the learning curriculum was structured in the same way. So I really hope that you will come to the other webinar to talk about the different curriculum that's available so that you can learn how you can integrate it into your programs.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sabrina. And thank you everyone for joining us and for your wonderful questions. We'll be sending out a link to the recording probably in the next 24 hours. So we look forward to seeing you next week. And thank you so much for spending part of your afternoon with us. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.